in our Ask Our Ambassadors series. I'm Gabby and I'll be hosting today's discussion. Today's session will focus on what it's like to be a Royal Holloway student, from studying to socialising with friends. This is your opportunity to put any questions that you may have on this topic to our panel of students and our student union president. So make sure that you put your questions into the chat box and I'll try and answer as many of them as we go through this little session. So first of all, let's start by introducing yourselves. Tell us a bit about yourselves.
Hi, I'm James. I'm a second year psychology student and I'm really happy to be here answering your questions.
Hi, I'm Josh. I'm doing a Masters in International Public Policy here at Royal Holloway, and I also did an undergraduate degree here in History and Politics as well, so this is my 4th year here.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm the president of the Students' Union and I studied biomedical sciences.
Hi, my name is Sana and I'm currently a 3rd year undergraduate student studying criminology and psychology.
Perfect, thank you. So I'll start us off with a few questions, but those of you watching, feel free to add some into the chat and I'll cover as many of them as I can throughout. But let's start with, what is it like to be a Royal Holloway student?
That's a really good question. What it's like, it's a whole sense of community that I get when I'm around on campus and throughout my whole time as an undergraduate. I felt like the people in my course and my teachers are really understanding. I've met a lot of friends as well. So I feel like it's definitely very welcoming, very diverse, and I feel like it's a good place to make a lot of friends, especially if you're joining societies and clubs. You can meet a lot of like-minded people.
Perfect. Anyone else want to talk about their life as a Royal Holloway student?
You got it in one.
Yeah, perfect. So a lot of people sometimes have a little bit of worries when they come to university. So does anybody have any advice on how you maybe make friends or meet like-minded people? Yeah, you can go first, of course.
So I think the best way to make yourself feel comfortable at uni right from the get-go is just to get as involved as you possibly can. When you arrive at Royal Holloway, there'll be an incredible amount of opportunities to get involved in every sport you could think of, every type of media or art or academic society, cultural, international society, whatever it may be. So many opportunities to get involved with things you already enjoy, but new things that you get to try. And in that way, not only do you have a great experience trying new things, but you get to meet loads of great people. Some of my best friends at university that I lived with in my 2nd year, I met at the very first cricket social in my 1st year in the first week. So these really can become friends for life that you meet in your first few days at university. And it just makes it a really special experience, but it's kind of up to you to make the most of it. So that's what I would recommend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect. Anyone met any people in different ways, so outside of societies or any other? Yeah.
Everyone. I think what Josh said, being I take every single opportunity, is absolutely the right advice. It is something where just going and seeing people in those first few weeks is what builds the foundation for the rest of your time in Royal Holloway. One thing that Josh didn't mention, though, is beyond just doing specific events in societies or clubs, is just general Holloway events. Holloway usually runs, pub quiz socials, night out events, other sorts of things like this, and this is a good way to get people outside of maybe your usual circles who you will bond with for the rest of your time in university.
Perfect. What do the first few days at Royal Holloway kind of feel like once you are here? Maybe we'll start with you, Hannah, if you want to start on what that was like for you.
Yeah, of course. When I first started university, it was slightly overwhelming, but that's a normal feeling. There's lots of information. There's, you go to the Freshers' Fair, talk to loads of different clubs and societies. So it's a lot going on all in 1 week. I very much just got involved with everything, but then I just got very overwhelmed, which, normal feeling, but it's just try to pace yourself. There are loads of different opportunities to get involved with stuff at different times of the year. So don't stress out too much. And there's always people to talk to within the university. So university staff, students' union staff, peer guides. There's loads and loads of support here. So yeah.
I agree with you that the first few days of academic term are very much overwhelming of the number of things that you can do. My first few days are a little different because I'm an international student, so I came the week before everyone else did, just to acclimate to what the United Kingdom and England is like. I didn't know where to go shopping, I didn't know, how to get to my local GP. It was a complete, I had no idea. Holloway provided an extensive tour of how England works, where to go, both in the local area and in the towns nearby. And that kind of really made me feel very secure and safe, that I know the staff are here are looking out for me.
Perfect. What would you say, or how maybe could you prepare for those first few weeks? So they might be a bit overwhelming, you might not be too sure, but what do you think you could do or recommend someone does before they come to make that a little bit easier?
You have any immediate thoughts?
I can take that. I don't know how helpful this answer is, but my honest response is that I didn't do a whole lot to prepare, and I know you were saying the same earlier today, actually. I think the key is to just be pretty relaxed about it and not to worry too much. You have that first week where there's no lessons, or at least for the vast majority of courses that I'm aware of. You have what we call a freshers week, and that's the time you get to try all the society stuff out, all the nights out, kind of everything we just discussed in the previous question. And that really gives you time to acclimatise to university and living away from home. That's where you kind of meet all your friends, build this community that we've spoken of. And then the second week you have the lessons, and that's the first proper week of term. But again, they're very introductory, they're quite light, they rarely require more than 1 or 2 readings. So it really does ease you into university life. So my honest response is don't stress about it. Just come prepared to try new things and to enjoy yourself, and you'll be absolutely fine.
That's a nice answer. I like that. Make sure that you do keep putting any questions in if you do think of anything. But in the meantime, what I'm going to actually ask Hannah first of all is, what is the Students' Union at Royal Holloway?
Yeah, of course. So the Students' Union is a separate organisation to the university. So the Students' Union is led by 4 sabbatical officers. So I'm one of them, I'm the president. There's a vice president education, a vice president wellbeing and diversity, and a vice president of societies and sport. We also have a team of staff, so we run a load of different stuff. So we have an advice centre that offers like free non-judgmental advice, so anything from housing, if you're feeling lonely, literally anything. We then have our societies and sports clubs. These are student-led, but we offer them support and like running events and everything. As well as this, we also have our events. So we have nighttime events at the SU, at Medicine. We also have a pub over at the Pack Course, but we also have day events. So we have our Give It a Go, where you can go and do literally everything from cupcake decorating to tote bag making. The Students' Union is also there for student voice and representation. So we have course reps, school reps. We're here to basically advocate for your best interests. I don't know if you guys got involved with the SU or wanted to add anything.
I can.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, I think the Student Union is an integral part of social life at university. I already mentioned kind of being part of societies to an extent, the stuff I tried in my first week, but I was on committee for the Politics and International Relations Society last year, and helped run the London Model United Nations, or at least kind of train our delegation to take them there. So that's obviously being a very kind of playing an active part in the society life at Royal Holloway. And then outside of the societies and more typical of the kind of give it a go type of thing you were speaking of, I really enjoy playing the social league football on Sundays and Thursdays that we have here, because I don't really have the time nor the ability to commit to an actual football team that plays seriously. But it's really nice that you guys put on those casual events where I think you pay £7 and you get to enjoy playing football with your friends for 2 hours with no commitments. It's a really nice aspect of uni life to enjoy playing football with friends and getting outside and keeping fit. Anything else?
Sana, did you have any that you joined when you came? Any different societies or?
Yeah, for societies, I've joined the hockey and athletic society, and that really kind of like helped me make friends and just like help me develop as a person as well, because it's really nice, like you think you're playing a sport but you're also working on communication, teamwork and other skills that you didn't think you'd be working on, and that all kind of like leads to you making new friends and that kind of thing. So that really helped me when I started and I came into university. So yeah, I would definitely say if you want to kind of explore growth and self-growth and explore a bit more, definitely join societies.
I've got a question here actually that is specifically about sort of the music side of society. So what is available in terms of maybe the rehearsal spaces or any societies that are available? Does anybody know too much about that? Yeah, Hannah, do you want to start us off?
Go for
And
it.
cover a bit about that. So there is a music society. It's not part of the SU, but we also have societies like Musical Theatre Society, as well as there's also a drama society. MTS, also known as Musical Theatre Society, they run like events, they run shows, they have practice, so you can book rooms, you can book places on campus, so any SU venues, but there's also practicing like music spaces on campus as well. Do you want to add a bit?
Sure. Yeah, so I've never taken part in any of the music societies myself, but I have attended a lot of the concerts that they put on. And they're really, really incredible. They're free for students, so if you're not a music student but you enjoy seeing music, definitely go along. But I've seen our jazz band all play. There was a huge group of about 30 of them, all having a great time. It was quite a casual concert. We had it in our Windsor auditorium, and it was really, really fun. I've also seen the choir perform countless times, and also we have an orchestra who did an incredible performance. There must have been about 50 or 60 of them. It was honestly amazing, like what the students at Royal Holloway can do, considering that was free to go watch as well. Incredible. So many opportunities to get involved with music if you're musical yourself or if you just enjoy listening to it.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So on sort of the other side, so we've spoken a little bit about the societies and the outside of your academic side, but what is your favourite place on campus to study? So we're a big campus here. You must all have sort of your go-to area. Do you want to start us off on where you like to study the most?
I think an answer that I suspect we will all give, or at least we will share, is the library space. It's the most obvious one. There is a social and a silent area, and both of them are excellent. I mean, truly wonderful places to go and study. The social area, if you want to go hang with either your group members or your friends, just kind of really sit down and get to work on a project, it is simply wonderful. If you want to really hammer in on your revision and want no one to distract you, the silent study space is top. For me personally, my favourite study space is actually one of the cafes. Boiler House Cafe, which is on location on campus, is simply a wonderful little, I call it my cubby hole. It's a nice little red brick room. It's silent, it's quiet, I can go get myself a coffee while I'm at it. And it's simply it's become like a comforting space for me over the years.
Perfect.
Anyone
Anyone
else?
got a different space they like to go to the most, or?
I want to mention
Fair enough, Josh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree that the library is where I study for the majority of the time. As a master student, we have a postgraduate room, which is really nice as well. So I tend to study there quite often, but also the Founders Reading Room is a lovely place to study. So we're actually very close to it now here in Founders, and it's really, really cool building, extremely old-fashioned, all of the old books, and it really just kind of encourages you to study when you're in that such a historic academic environment. It's a really nice space to study in.
Yeah. Perfect. We've actually got a question that's come in through the chat about when do you apply for accommodation. So I'll take this one because I'm not sure if you guys know the times of that. But if you were to put Royal Holloway as your firm choice, you would then be guaranteed an accommodation and go through the application process. You can apply between the 10th of June and the 1st of July. So just keep an eye on your emails and your inbox for when that link will come through, and that will make it live and you can apply for your accommodation that way. A slightly similar question, which I'm going to ask anyway, is would you guys recommend living in accommodation in your first year? I know this is more about student life, but did you all sort of take that pathway anyway?
I can talk a little bit about accommodation in my first year. So I actually stayed in Runnymede 2 in my first year. For me, it just worked because, it was on campus. It was also like I wouldn't be able to commute because I live too far away from campus. But this is where I met like my best friends. It wasn't even on the same floor. It was just in the block that we ended up meeting. And it was just like, it was nice to be in an environment, I was suddenly away from home. I was looking after myself, like cooking for myself. So it was kind of where I learnt my independence as well.
Yeah, I could. I didn't live on campus, but I commuted. So I'm a commuting student, and I live quite close, so 10 minutes away, kind of thing, and it's not too far. So I felt like personally for me, even though I didn't live on campus, I still got the experience because I was still, around a lot as well, and was able to get the kind of like campus experience too. So yeah, for me it was different, but it still was really good.
Yeah. And another quick question that we've got in here, we'll only have time for maybe a couple more. But what would you say the public transport is like around here? So do you commute through public transport or do you drive or both? What do you?
I drive, so
Yeah.
it's a bit more handy for me. So I would say the people that I know, some of my friends that come, they take the train. They find it good as well, and some of them are learning how to drive too. So it's convenient for them. It's not too long. They live like 30 minutes away, so it's ideal for them to come and go. And the travelling experience is an experience in itself. So it's
Generally quite good links around the area as well, isn't there? In terms of buses and trains and getting into London and things like that.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to end on one sort of question and maybe ask you guys what your favourite part of Royal Holloway is, or what your favourite part about being a Royal Holloway student. Who wants to start us off? I feel like James is thinking. Let's start back this end again. Let's start.
I'll start. So, sorry, what's the question again?
Just what's your favourite part so
What's
far
my-
about being a Royal Holloway student?
Okay, so as a third year student as well, I've experienced quite a lot. So I would definitely say one of my favourite parts of being a Royal Holloway student is the societies, and my favourite was being part of the hockey society. I made a lot of friends and connections, and then going on to that, in my course, I was really the teachers in my course are really, really friendly and really helpful and really nice, and I felt like when I went to kind of ask them for help and get that guidance, I've gotten so many opportunities just by talking to them that I didn't ever think I would. So if you're scared to kind of like go and ask, don't be, because teachers, they really do appreciate when you want to come and like ask for help. So I've gotten so many incredible research opportunities through that. So yeah, that's what I would say would be one of my best like highlights.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah, we'll do one.
Yeah, we'll go this way. Yeah.
Oh, you kind of stole my answer. Right? The people at Royal Holloway are amazing. I would definitely say that tops it. But it's also the opportunity and the development. Like, there's so many different opportunities, so much to get involved in, and it's sometimes you don't realise it. But when I graduated from being a student, and then I went on to work in the Students' Union as the president and vice president of societies and sport, I realised how much that I wish that I had done, just because it's like, oh my gosh, so much more. But yeah, I'd say the opportunity.
Unfortunately, I think that might be what we've maybe got time for, but we'll have one more question from the chat in here. So there's a couple of different ones I'll cover. Maybe one's on sort of work placement opportunities. So when you're at university, you're kind of talking about the opportunities you guys have done there anyway. Have you utilised that? Do you think, is that something that you think every course you kind of, as you come to university, have any of you done placements or?
Yeah, I did
you did a year in industry.
Yeah, I did a year in industry.
Okay, perfect.
And that was an extremely valuable experience. So my course and many other courses at the university are very happy to let you take a year out of your degree. So you do your first year and your second year, and you can either do a year abroad studying in a different country, which is a great experience in itself, or for me, doing a year in industry to get experience working in international business was kind of what I got experience from, and that was invaluable. And that's going to be really helpful for me when I'm applying for jobs after my master's next year.
And quick follow-up question, what was the support like in the process to apply for the placement that you went on?
So it was really helpful. There's a whole careers team. I think they do loads of different workshops and things to help you with career opportunities. My personal favourite aspect of it is the one-to-ones they offer, so you can book meetings with them and have really personal conversations about the things you need help with, and any guidance, they're there for you because you really have exclusive time with them and they're there to help you with anything you need.
Okay, perfect. So that is all we have time for in terms of answering the questions. But if you guys watching do have more questions that you want answered, you can talk to a current student on the website at the moment and they can give you their experiences at Royal Holloway. In terms of the next session that we're going to be doing as a group with our student ambassadors, we will be doing one on the 29th of May, all about student accommodation. So if you have more specific questions about that, please come and join us then. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching.
Thank you so much.
Bye.